Ready?
Yes.
We have been working on self-love during the month of February. How are you doing with it?
Great. Better.
Some up and down. Patrick's hugging himself. As I shared with you the very first service, this is not a attribute that I have yet fully mastered, but I strive very diligently every day. So, I have been applying all of the steps that Spirit gave us that first Sunday. Do you remember? Feeding in, letting your senses take in the environment, seeing and calling things good and moving from greater good to greater good instead of calling something bad and having to move because of that. What else did we do? Comfort. Nurture versus comfort. Remember? It was really good insights, I thought. So I have been consciously seeking to apply those in my world. And then last week, Patrick gave us one of the most beautiful definitions of love. It was, love is the full, unrestricted expression of divine life itself. Isn't that beautiful? The full and unrestricted expression of divine life itself. So did you let yourself express a little unrestrictedly this past week? Did you let things fly out of your mouth that you kind of looked at interestingly? But said, that was full of love and good intentions. It should be good. And that's what we need to strive to be that unrestricted expression of love. So, today we're talking about self and centered. Do you know what it feels like to be self and centered? There is a calm, there is a power and a strength. There is this feeling of knowing where you are going when you are yourself and you are centered. And people who agree with what you're doing, they call you confident, they call you empowered, they call you strong, they call you capable. People who do not agree with where you're going or what you're doing, they call you self-centered. They call you controlling. They call you unyielding, and they call you power-hungry. People who agree with you call you powerful. People who do not agree with you call you power-hungry. And the reality is, if you listen to either of those camps, you are not centered. The minute we seek validation or input from either any voice that's coming to us, we have just taken our focus from what empowered us in the first place, that beautiful central core. When I was younger, there was a little toy called Weebles. Does anybody remember Weebles? Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. I am a Weeble, and I remind myself of that little saying countless times when I'm hurting. When someone has said something, I go, Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. They'll come back to center. You'll come back to center, you know? From a child's little slogan. We are all flowing. But to have that central core where we know we're going to come back and consciously choose to come back is the key. Everything I'm going to say to you today, you know. Everything I'm going to say today, I need to hear again, and you may need to hear again. That point of being self and centered is the point of you fully embodying your truth, who you are, your essence, your Christed consciousness. When we are wobbling from side to side, looking at either pros or cons, that Christ within us is not dominant. What is dominant are the words that we're hearing. Do you see? It takes us coming back to center to figure out what's going on. All right. Being centered is really about accessing all that we are. It's about our mind being in agreement, our heart being in agreement, our emotions being in agreement, and our higher self being present and guiding us on our mission for the day. Now we're centered. Every aspect of us is in agreement for where we're going. Do you know what I'm saying? And you realize there are times when your heart might say, do this, 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 and the mind's going, what are you doing? And then you feel like you're silly or stupid for what you've just done, following your heart, but your mind was doing this over here. Centered is when everything is going, yep, I'm centered. I'm going to go for it. This is what I'm doing. This is a true place of empowerment. We're not power hungry. We're not powerful. We are empowered. We are in agreement with self, and we have the power within us to accomplish what we need to accomplish. So, I wanted to share with you a couple of little divine dips in White Eagle that I thought was important. Spirit was showing it to me. Every day on awakening, and many times during the day, particularly when you're being overwhelmed, pause and remember that it's the little self that is being tried. And then understand that above you in the invisible realm is the greater self, your Christ self. Look into that form of glorious color, the radiant light, and feel infinite power flowing into your personality. You will be conscious above your personality of that self which is limitless and is living in God. That is you. That is the truth of you. And bringing that awareness of my divinity into this moment allows me to overcome or come into harmony with or understand or at least be at peace with whatever's happening around me. Do you understand? I may not solve it. I may not get instant ahas, but I will come to the space of knowing there must be a reason, and I shall flow with it until it is revealed. Do you see the peace? Cultivate inner calm, daily linking yourself to God in prayer and meditation, always giving light from your spirit. Always giving light from your spirit. Link to God, always giving light from your spirit, never depression. Only light. How often do we go to God with depression? God. I had to read that several times. Okay. Taking the light. Walk patiently and humbly on your path, and you will be recipients of the unfailing power of God and reflectors of divine love. Recipients of God and reflectors of that love. That's centered. Recipients of the greater power and reflecting that power through you. That's centered. Doesn't that sound fabulous? Mm-hmm. And we all know it, don't we? We all know what it's like to be centered. All right. And in that centeredness, there are often times when you will feel like you're walking alone. When I first started writing plays, that Spirit would give me. I would sit down at the computer and go, okay, we've got to do a play in 2 weeks. And they would just start typing through me. And this is God giving me a message that needed to be shared at that moment in time. And I remember I learned very quickly not to ask Patrick his opinion. Because he could not see the picture. So I got good with that. Okay, God, we're not talking to Patrick to see if I should change anything. We're just going to go for it till it's done. When it was done, I always have this beautiful support of the IQ players. They are the best, the best. They take the words and they just become fabulous. They come alive with it and they just do it, and they're just so 1,000% committed. It's the best. But then Cindy, bless her heart, after the performances, especially in the early days, and not necessarily has it totally ended, I would talk to our audience as they left, and I would say, did you get it? Did you get the message? Did you get it? And then someone would say, well, if you should have done this and this, it could have been that or this. I went, that's not how it came down. That's not how it was given to me. And I am so confident in how it was given to me. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, I'm just so confident in how it was given to me. Yet, I weebled. I wobbled. Because a voice said, God should have given it to me differently. Okay. Well, God, should you have? And then the big old processing begins that only I walk through. Yes? No. Was I hearing? Was I doing? Blah, blah, blah. But in the moment of creation, do you hear? I was centered. So centered. Presenting it to the IQ players, they were so centered. Presenting it to the world, they were so centered. We have to honor that about ourselves. Every time we are centered, we are getting a gift from Spirit at the level that it can come down through us. And following our guidance isn't always about creation. It's about having a better life. So that was a little example of a creation. But your guidance could simply be stop at the store and get a loaf of bread. Well, I don't need bread. We'll go get it anyway. You go home and the dog is eating your bread. It's just having a better life. Simple, staying in touch with the guidance. Staying in touch. When we're working with our higher selves, we can feel the rightness of things. So being self-centered is about being empowered. And there are 3 aspects. When we are empowered, we know we have all we need, whether we can see it or not. I am that I am. We know we have all we need. We know we are destined to succeed because we've been doing everything that we practiced during the January services. We are destined to succeed. I have all I need. I'm destined to succeed. I'm empowered. And I have given myself permission to be. I am the unrestricted expression of God love. When I am empowered, I feel those 3 things. I have everything I need. Success is mine. And I can freely express who I am. Familiar? Own it. Do you own it? Okay. All right. Okay. Now we get complicated. Ready? Okay. We have talked intellectually about staying centered, and everybody has triggered a memory of being centered, have you not? Have you triggered a memory of being off-centered? Okay. I want to speak to you now at an energy level about the same occurrences. Why do you think people want, when they agree with us, want to be near us? We share a common field. Our energy field of confidence and empowerment blesses them to feel confident and empowered because they are agreeing with where we're going. And we share this field and our energy plays off of each other. Do you realize that? Why do the people who do not agree with us don't want to be with us? Because they are repelled. There's the thing of, well, you're using your energy for something I don't want you to. I want you to use your power for something I want you to, so I can then plug into you and we can share energy. But because you're going against what I want, I can't plug into you, so I'm mad at you. And I'm going to create distance. Everybody say, I absolutely understand everything you're saying.
I absolutely understand everything you're saying.
Okay. And you live with this conscious awareness all the time?
No.
Okay. We are in a collective energy field. We are in a collective energy field. When someone disagrees with you, they cannot come into your power, and then they view it as you are now withholding your love from them. How dare you? You know? Instead of relax and flow. Relaxing. So, this common field is activated by right of vibration. We will attract or we will repel one another. And if we are not centered in our own empowerment, we will look in the common field for our answers. If we are not centered in our own empowerment, we will look in the common field for food. We will look in the common field for advice and for guidance. Hence, the every morning, throughout the day, center in and talk to God. Arnold Paton, a very famous author and metaphysician, said, and I can't quote it exactly, but it is along the lines of, he wrote, You Can Have It All. You all know who I'm talking about, Death, Taxes, and Other Illusions. He was a fabulous metaphysician. He was Jewish by faith, but fabulous metaphysician. He said, if you do not know who you are, if you have not centered in and meditated and gotten yourself good with God, when you take that first step out your front door, you are virtually, and I will use the idiom, dead in the water. You have lost all ability to navigate. You are subject to the winds and waves of the world around you, and you have no idea where you're going. And that has stayed with me since the first time I heard it over 20 years ago. If I walk out that door not knowing who I am subject to the common field, that collective field of what's happening today. Who's thinking what's happening today? Do you see? Because I have not hooked up to be empowered and centered in who I am. Because I am a part of this common field. And if I am not centered, I'm going to be looking for my answers and my food, because we all need to be fed every single day. We need energy every single day. You know that. We need energy every single day. We need love every single day. If I'm not centered in who I am and filled up to overflowing, I cannot reflect God's love to the world around me. I will be looking for love around me. Right, take a breath. This is so simple. So simple. I would not miss my meditation in the morning if I can help it at all. And we had to go on a journey this summer. And so we were up at the, Lord knows what, we had to hit the road at a certain time that was beyond my scope of feasibility. So I was up and in the shower while he's packing the car. We're going to hit the road. And he's walking in and out, and I'm getting ready, and I'm just being me. That's so funny. I turned and looked at him. I said, "This is how I am when I don't meditate in the morning." And he goes, "Oh." We're going to schedule meditating time for you all the time. Having that beautiful connection. Well, that was an aside. All right. I kept being reminded of this. When we hit that collective field and we are not centered, it is most uncomfortable. And I will just remind you of the event we went through recently, which was our snowstorm. Our downpour of 2 inches that brought Atlanta to its knees. I woke up that morning knowing I should stay home. And, of course, Patrick had to go in early, so he couldn't drive me. And so I just got irritated with him. Because I'll just go in for a little while. And whenever you go against your guidance, you get kind of ticky. Yeah. Just a little well, I was starting to get at him because I was not following my guidance. And he would have been great if I just said, "Honey, I'm not going." So I come in, I am going to leave by 11. I'm out of here by 11. Because I know what my guidance is telling me. Get out by 11. You got to go. I'm here doing a few little things. Noelle, someone's on the phone, crying. It's an emergency counseling. Ugh, okay. I took him at 11. And I did not leave until after that. So I'm 12 o'clock going, okay, I got to go, Patrick, I got to go. I'm going to go ahead and go. I don't drive this stuff. I got to go. And he goes, why don't we all just leave together? Okay, 12:30. We are now sucked in. The 15-minute journey home is now quite interesting. And I'm not in a good space. Because why? I had very clear guidance. And I didn't follow it. So I am in my car, driving along, knowing God is with me always. And we are on backcountry roads where there is not a gas station or a stop and go. There is nothing. They're the most windy, hilly, and maybe 1,000 of my friends and neighbors are there with me. And I'm driving. And the first hour, I'm okay. I'm praying that I get home safely. The second hour, I'm praying that I get home. But this is what I was feeling. And I started praying. I said, okay, God, I ask that this just melt and that we get home safely. And there was silence. And normally I get the big whoosh, we got you, girl. You know, we got it. I was like, okay, God, I'm not feeling the whoosh. And they're saying, your needs are met. I had stuff in my car I never have in my car. All my needs were met. Okay, this is into the second hour. Why am I not being told I can get home soon? okay, God, we haven't moved for half an hour. Could you please just go out and melt the snow of whoever's stuck there? And so we can start moving again. And about 15 minutes later, this truck came down, a young boy, window down, wanted to chat. I rolled my window down. He goes, yeah, don't stop on the hill. We've been stuck up there. So it was me that was stuck up there blocking all the traffic, he says. So don't stop on the hill. And off he goes. But Spirit wanted to make sure that so I saw he got melted out. It was great. 2 more hours, we finally got home. But here's the thing. I had such a panic when the cars were near me. When I was bumper to bumper with someone, the energy of panic was extreme. And I was like, oh my God. And I would pray and ask to be calm, but I would have to literally roll the window down, breathe, and send myself Reiki, or tap, to calm down. And I said, God, you got to help me here. And so I looked up, and all of a sudden, there's space behind and in front of me. And there's a beautiful calm. As long as I could maintain some space between me and the consciousness around me, I could be more Cindy. When I'm locked in with my brothers and sisters, it was nothing but a sheer panic. And those of you that got caught in it, and I know most of us did, you can attest, this was probably one of the greatest experiences for me to experience the power of collective consciousness. Because we were not all going, oh yay, someone's helping us. Oh, we're stuck on a country road. There's nobody. And, you're stuck there. We're miles from our destination. And we inched and inched and inched. It was only 4.5 hours, which I hear is very good compared to most of you guys. But the collective consciousness is strong. And it was really good for me to have that experience. And, I meditate and ask why, other than I didn't follow my guidance. But what did I learn? What did I learn? We are powerful as a people. We are so powerful. And as individuals, if we walk out empowered, totally centered, and totally at peace, there will be enough variety in the collective that we don't have to have these mass energies. Do you understand? There'll be enough light moving in the collective. Every single person that followed their guides to stay home was helping us. They were helping me. Because they were sending love to everybody stuck out there. And they were good, and they were safe, and they were happy, and they had food. Because one of my brothers and sisters is there. It's helping all of us. So don't think that we have to fall into the collective, because when you fall into the collective, you've given up you. What we want to do is be us and then affect the collective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Empowerment, for us holding and maintaining our own sense of power, our own sense of beingness and purpose. Okay. All right. That's a heavy story, isn't it? Yeah, it brings up all the energy of. So let's just breathe and lift up. We've all lived through that, and now we know to follow our guidance and not do that again. And we're just happy, happy, happy. So there was one more example that I wanted to share with you about how we tap into energy. Many years ago, I was working with one of the doctors that was trying to help me understand estrogen flow. And this is what happens, as I recall. When your estrogen level drops, well, we have these receptors that pick up estrogen so our body can use it. Then they pull it into your body. When estrogen level drops, you would think those receptors would drop proportionately. Oh no. Those receptors get crazy. They start multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. So I had like 1 billion receptors and no estrogen. Do you see what I'm saying? They are looking for anything they can find. And she said, boy, your receptors are way out of whack. They're like crazy. And the vision keeps coming to me. I think this is what happens when we don't look for self. When we don't have the self energy, the estrogen energy, the Christ in us, our receptors don't go, oh, well, no food today. They start multiplying, looking for divinity anywhere. And they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they're taking anything they can find that's the slightest glimmer of food. So we can have something in our systems. Does that make sense to you guys? And yet when we bring in, and the first thing that happens if they give you estrogen is the number of these receptor cells declines. Because we're full now. Thank you. We don't need to search anymore. So it becomes back into balance. So the more that we feed and bring in that beautiful God light, mind, heart, emotions, everything balanced with our purpose for the day, divinity for the day, expressing for the day, we don't look so desperately for the food. We become the food. And we help the collective. Okay. Self-centered. The next time someone calls you self-centered, I would invite you to say to them, I am self-centered. I am self and I am centered. I know what I'm doing. The next time someone says you're power hungry, no, I'm empowered. I'm totally committed to what I'm doing. I'm going to be love undefined, unrestricted. I am going to be that expression. I'm going to go for it. You know, you hear people say living life boldly, live life loud, go for it. You're going to run out of energy if you don't go empowered. And then you can do anything. The God within you, the mind aligning, the heart aligning, the emotions aligning, the God within you is the greatest gift that you can give yourself on this planet. Say yay, God?
Yeah.
Let's go with it. Father, Mother God, we ask that your love enfold us. And I ask that words become wisdom. Wisdom, the essence of love, move through us. Father, let us feel your presence in this moment. And I would invite each one of you as you take a breath, just feel God's love pouring through your body. Moving through the crown chakra, down through the spine, through the body. Just welcome it. And then let your focus just gently go to your heart. And I want you to repeat after me out loud. I am good.
I am good.
I want you to feel the resonance. I am the divine child of God.
I am the divine child of God.
I am love.
I am love.
Now feel your energy. Can you feel it vibrating?
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel it shifting from a moment ago? Just by claiming with your words, your essence. I want you to just feel your heart again. And in that moment, in this moment, as you just look and feel and be in that heart center, feel your higher self, your Christed nature fully present within you. And just let that love begin to flow. As you feel your higher self, become aware this earthly walk can be a divine walk. Your guidance, your higher self can be expressing through you in every moment. And there's nothing you have to do. Look at your thoughts. Can your thoughts agree with this higher self? Just watch, yes or no, doesn't matter. Feel the emotional body, all the desires that it has, all the things it wants. Can it agree with this higher self? Can you agree with this higher self? Feel a beautiful power moving through you. A beautiful acceptance. Father, Mother God, we ask that this love now go out into the world of each one here. I ask that they feel the courage to be. Let your love enfold them. And let them feel the peace. Hold that energy. Feel your love. Take a breath. Be grateful for your life. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. So I'd like to close with this. In our collective field, when you go forth empowered, there are those also empowered who have a divine appointment to come and work with you. We are never left alone. There are beautiful beings who cannot wait to stand by your side, to celebrate your life with you, to walk with you. And when that happens, you are both contributing from a state of empowerment, and you're both creating a new collective, not one separate from, but one a little different. You ready to go meet your friends? Take your light out. And so it is.
Yes.